After decades of proposals, the Senate has passed a bill that would make Washington, D.C. the 51st state of the United States. So this happened right after my show on Friday, and I didn't see it coming. I think it's interesting news. It's just something I wasn't expecting to see. So it passed in the House with a majority of vote, or it passed in the Senate with a majority vote. It is unlikely to pass in the House because it's a Republican majority, and Donald Trump is extremely against this. I believe he's against the entire idea of just introducing statehood, because Puerto Rico has been dealing with trying to get statehood ever since Trump has been in office. So if Washington, D.C. were to get statehood, then what does that say about Puerto Rico? So it's either both or none. And even though it did pass in the Senate, don't hold your breath on it actually becoming standard, that extra star on the flag. So the argument with this is that Washington, D.C., the citizens, they do pay federal taxes, but yet they have no representation in the Senate. They have no representation in the House. They have no delegates, they have nobody representing them in the legislation. So that's textbook taxation without representation. You have citizens in this district that the population is more than Vermont, Wyoming, states that are already states, so for this district to still be treated as such it does the people living in this place a disservice, because they deserve more than that. And it looks like it really came to a head with this whole COVID situation, because the government, they provided relief for all 50 states. They gave them emergency funds to run their states with their individual states. So each state got a little over $1 billion in funding. Washington, D.C. got half of that to deal with its entire population. And like I just said, it has more of a population than 2 whole states already. So like I said, the argument in favor of it is that there's people paying federal taxes but have no federal representation. It would tip the scales, obviously. With having a 51st state, there'd be an uneven number, so there would always be a majority vote in one way or another. There would be no deadlocks, there'd be no ties, there'd be no having to re-vote on anything. So that'd be pretty cool, would it not? But Washington, D.C. is a Democratic district. It's never had a Republican mayor. All the mayors they've had have been Democratic. The district itself is a majority black. The majority of the population is black. It's been dubbed Chocolate City by the Parliament. So, not the Parliament, but Funkadelic, the music group. But yeah, its population is mostly black, Democratic, and Republicans, they argue that obviously it's a political thing, that Democrats want to tip the Senate in their favor or tip the Congress in their favor in some kind of way. And they also claim that it's unconstitutional because the district is, it's an area. They got some of the land from Vermont, or not from Vermont, but Virginia. I believe Virginia got part of its land back, but the landmass that it sits on was given to them by Maryland. So the Republicans are claiming that if DC wants statehood, then just, get back into Maryland, because that's where you got the land from. So just become part of Maryland, and there you go. There's your statehood. I don't think that's the type of issue there. So they're just completely lost on that situation. And then I also saw someone bring up the point that in the Constitution, I don't know how legit this is, but there's supposed to be an independent body of land that's not a state, that just doesn't represent the state, that doesn't represent any state at all. It's just a district. That's why DC is a thing. But I think we've gone past that because DC is a heavily populated area in America and it needs representation. Simple.